morning guys, and welcome back to the channel. So a bit of a special video today. A couple of weeks back, whether you've seen on the BBC Look East website, whether you're local, I did an interview with a bloke called Stuart Bailey. He's from the BBC, about climate change, and for some reason they chose me to talk about climate change. There was a 1 minute 40 some odd video that he'd edited from our interview, but I'll put a link in the description if you want to see that, or if you want to stick around for the whole interview, I shall put that up now. I did a bit of filming, but please let me know in the comments what you think, your views, whether what I said was wrong or right, or how you feel about what I said. Put it in the comments. Yeah, again, I am 22 years old, might affect some of my views, but this is just a view from what I think. And yeah, have a listen, have a watch, and let me know. Anyway, the T6 is off the irrigation job at the moment. It's been raining, we're not irrigating, so we do not need it. It's been and had a 1200 hour service at PEX. The only reason why it's been to PEX is because we got it off them, a local dealer, and well, normally we do it ourselves, normally we service it ourselves, but it's still under warranty, so therefore it went in for that service. Probably the next service will do, who knows. But today we are just whipping these narrow wheels off. See, they're narrow. Narrow wheels off, and we're going to put the 650s, which are over there, 650s on, ready to do some cultivating, grain carting and drilling. This time of year we're just sort of tidying bits up. Dad has polished the combine and we've serviced it. I'm just going to get the header on today. I'll just show you that. He's made an absolutely mint job of it. She's 20 plus years old, but you ain't gonna find a better one in better condition. That is what we're on at the moment. Just sort of waiting for things to grow, waiting for things to ripen up. Doing our jobs, tidying up this, that and the other, getting ready for harvest. But stick around for the interview that I do. Obviously, like I said, let me know what you think. And yeah, so here it is. Today, I'm just about to go on a Zoom call. Never done it before. Don't know what it's like. Yeah, ignore that. It's not mine. It's Mum's. So, let's get into it. Let's see what he's got to say and see if I can actually answer some questions. I'm not some university student who's got all the paperwork and can talk the talk. I am just me saying how it is, how I think it is, back in British farming. I'm not reading it out of a textbook like some people do. As it is, straightforward. Hi Stuart.
Oh, there you go. Brilliant. Oh, thanks. You sorted it out then?
Yeah, sorted it out, yeah. I'll just edit the view.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you're all good for a few minutes then? Not taking you away from...
No, we should be alright, thank you.
Yeah, first of all then, just tell me briefly about your farm, how long you've been working there, and what type of farm it is.
Yep, so it's a arable farm. We grow 250 acres. I farm alongside my dad. I'm 22 years old, and yeah, we're an arable farm, so no livestock. We grow wheat, barley, peas, sugar beet and potato, so a mixture of combinable crops alongside with root crops as well.
I understand that climate change, despite the fact you've not been there too many years, but in that short time you've noticed effects of climate change already.
Yep, so I've been farming alongside my dad for 5 years, and throughout them 5 years of myself being on the farm, the last 2 years, the challenging conditions that we've had, or that everyone's had in the farming industry, the windows for planting and harvesting are getting shorter and shorter every year. From being really dry to being really wet and absolutely miserable to work in. It is. I have definitely seen a change.
And what kind of problems does that cause you?
Well, a shorter window for planting the crops is obviously takes up the time. It's to get the crops in the ground in a short space of time, and there's only two of us, and I know we've only got 250 acres, which is quite small for this day and age. People have got thousands of acres now, and they must really struggle. And then come harvest, when it's shorter, to gather the crops in without getting ruined or damp and high moisture is say the stress levels can rise a bit.
And you saying that this is because what we've got more extreme weather than we used to have?
Yeah, so speaking to Dad and other farmers, I'd say the weather has definitely changed throughout seasons. Um, Whether that's to do with the climate change as such, I don't know. It's They say farmers have been hit recently in the government because of releasing carbon. So some farms have turned to being carbon neutral, which means traditionally we'd plough back in the day. We'd plough everything, all the land we ploughed, and now they've realised ploughing releases carbon. So for us on our farm, for 250 acres and the fen soil in Cambridgeshire, you'd see the plough a lot, and you still continue to see the plough a lot. Nowadays, minimum tillage drills, no tillage drills, which is where we just tilth the top, or sometimes we just tilth the area where the seed is being planted, will release less carbon, which is what the government want to hear. But these drills, they do cost a lot of money. There is a few grants about, and farmers are doing a lot to sort of keep the carbon down and become more sustainable farming.
And that's not the only thing you do. I understand you've taken other steps as well to limit your impact on the environment.
Yep, so we've actually took out some land out of production to plant grass margins around the outside of the fields as well for the wildlife. We've took some more land out to dig a reservoir, and that's absolutely heaving with wildlife as well. We've planted trees around that, and many other farms have planted trees, hedgerows and wild bird mix and covers to help with the carbon as well. And like I say, with the minimum tillage and no tillage drills, and only drilling where the seed is placed and not moving the land about too much, it's all steps towards a carbon neutral sort of sustainable farming.
And how important is that to you? I mean, is climate change something you worry about, given your age and the fact that presumably you like your career and you would quite like to be doing this for many decades into the future?
Well, what I've heard recently, someone said there's only 90 to 100 harvests left if we carry on the way that we're going. So it is a worry. It definitely is a worry for young people like me in the industry and many other people my age and a bit above as well. It is a worry, and I think my age and that are starting to realise that, and we are starting to do a lot more about it.
And should that just be down to yourselves, or do you think? I mean, is the government doing enough to support farmers?
Not as much as what I'd like. They have put some grants out for these no-till drills, but they don't last very long. I understand the government are lacking in funding in some places, but I mean, farming does need some help. It's been slated by the government, I think, recently, and them saying about the trade deal as well with Australia, saying that it's a good thing. I don't think they've thought it through. They say we want to be carbon neutral as well, but the air miles or the boat miles that's coming from Australia to get this meat over, surely that's affecting the atmosphere rather than getting it from the UK.
And what are your biggest fears if we don't do enough to tackle climate change? What ultimately are your biggest fears?
My biggest fears, well, that's a difficult question. I'd say we'd lose the wildlife that we need. The pollinators, we'd lose that, and the windows for planting the crops would be even shorter. The weather would be more harsher, and therefore it'd be harder to grow in the UK.
Harder to the point where potentially businesses could go out of business.
Yeah, definitely. The smaller farmers like ourselves are struggling at the moment with prices. We're sort of being priced out of the job by different companies, and yeah, it is worrying. It is worrying. So we've just got to look forward and do the best we can with planting trees and that to sort of reduce the carbon and sort of offset what we're doing on the farm.
Now, you say your dad's been doing it. How long's your dad been on the farm, and what's he told you about his experiences and changes he's seen with the weather?
Oh, he's been on the farm well over 30 years. My granddad started it, and then my dad's built it up from him for where it is today. And whenever we're doing something, he's always saying, "Oh, it used to be so and so. It's not like how it used to be. Farming's not how it used to be back when, when he started." And I just think, now it's all right. But he's seen a lot of change from when he started. Basically, well, not every season is the same, but it's certainly changed. Like I say, the past 3 years. Especially I think it's 2019, we had all that rain. He has never seen the amount of rainfall, and no one has, and how hard it was to plant the crops and harvest them.
Now, just tell me a bit about you. Just change the subject a bit. You got this YouTube channel. How did that come about, and why did you decide to start telling your story on there?
Well, I started the YouTube channel. I think it was back in January, February time, to really open people's eyes on what a young person's life like in the farming, because I felt that there was a certain disconnect between the growers and the consumers and the public for where their food comes from. So I started that up for that reason, as well as to get young people realising what it's like. It is a hard industry, and to give people an insight onto what I do on a day-to-day basis, and it's growing. It is growing. I didn't think it'd be where it is now. I've got 240 subscribers, and there's many more farming YouTube channels out there to watch who's got many more subscribers as well, but for just a small farm we get up to a lot, so I thought I'd document what we get up to on a sort of a weekly basis. And yeah, it's to really just engage with everybody to like give an insight on what we get up to, really.
Obviously, you've done quite a lot to kind of limit the impact that you make on the environment and to cope with the change and things like that. What tips would you give to other similar sized farms who have the same concerns as you? What can they do?
Well, for an instance, I know planting grass margins isn't really. I know it's taking land out of production, but it helps. It helps the wildlife, and I know not many people want to dig a reservoir, but we've dug it for irrigation and the fact that we can plant trees around it as well. It's difficult for a farm for our size to really do things. It's all down to the money situation. Like I was saying, with the government, they need to press these grants more to help a farm similar to us or slightly bigger to fund them sort of projects. The bigger farms, they can spread the costs more about, but for the likes of us, I think we've done a lot by planting trees and doing the grass margins and the reservoir as well. For a farm like us, we've sort of done our bit as well.
But I suppose, despite the expense, what's the alternative? I guess if you don't spend that, it could be catastrophic.
Yeah, it could impact the future. So we've done our bit. Basically, we could do more. We could plant some more hedgerows. We could, in fact, go to back to the olden days. They used to harrow the wheat. So you have a wider band on your drill, and you go in with a harrow instead of spraying. So that's another impact we could make. But then again, it's all cost. We've recently bought a minimum tillage drill, and for a farm like our size, to switch from conventional ploughing to this minimum tillage drill is a massive switch up, and that for sure is going to have a big impact on how we do things. And definitely in the future we could look at going no tillage. It's all to do with trying to be as carbon neutral as possible.
Great, that's fantastic. I think that's everything I wanted to ask, unless you had anything else to add.
No, not just not really. I mean, to give people more of an insight, they could go and look at my YouTube channel, see what I get up to, and leave comments and ask questions. I'm sure I'll hopefully be able to answer them.
Like climate change, so yeah, that's fantastic. That's exactly what we need. So thank you very much for that.
That's all right.
As soon as I know when it's on, I'll send you.
Drop us an email and we'll go from there. Hopefully, I did all right.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was great. Hang on, we're still recording.
Recording stopped.
No, that was perfect. Oh. Really great. Thank you very much for that. And
no worries.
I'll let you get back.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, then, Rob.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
And there we have it. There's my little interview. Whether it be posted online, or whether it might even make the old TV. This face might even be on your TV if you watch BBC Look East. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for watching. Definitely leave your comments if you enjoy this video. If something I answered was wrong, I'm not very good at answering questions on the spot, but yeah, give it a listen. Give me a thought. Drop it in the comments. And it's all about backing British farming at the moment, and let's see if we can do that. If you could, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the little bell, which gives you notifications on when my next video is up, and yeah, we will see you again. Ta.